What's good with it? Welcome back to Gunners Collective TV, where you already know we about to get it in this afternoon. But before we get it in, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And before we even do that, make sure we get to this intro. Welcome back. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that the gun is kicking. And I appreciate all the support. Thank you very much. I'm very humbled by it. So I got some news out there in the San Jose and the Greenfield area, Monterey County, man. There's a collaboration here, right? So 8 young men were taken into custody on a joint task force executed operation into the Grifas gang, the Greenfield gang. Now, Greenfield, the city of Greenfield, I did time with the homeboy Psycho. Shout out to the homeboy Sykes from Greenfield, man. That was a solid Norteno right there. A good homie, laced the right way. Bowl business, right? The Salad Bowl. The Salad Bowl area consists of several different cities in the Salinas area. Salinas, Gonzales, of course, Greenfield. And it's pretty top heavy with Nortenos. There's a lot of Nortenos that really play the game to the fullest. You know, the North and South issues in Northern California have been going on for decades. And in places like the Central Valley, certain parts of the Bay Area, the San Jose area, Tulare County, and of course the Salad Bowl, there's a heavy presence of issues between Northerners and Southerners, Southsiders and Nortenos. And there's a lot of blood that's been spilt and a lot of blood that continues to be spilt. And these 8 men are alleged that were apprehended in this operation in Grifas, Greenfield, right? To have alleged to have went hunting, put a group together of young Norteños, and for whatever reason decided to drive up to the city of San Jose, which is quite a ways away. Okay, now that can only lead me to believe one or two things. Either this was not a planned mission. This is something they were just in the area cruising around, happened to run into some vatos from the other side, some Southsiders, and got off where they were mad at. Or this is literally a blow back to the 90s. In the 90s, this was pretty popular. Guys would jump in cars and head to other cities to execute these hits or to look for rival gang members or opposition to blast on, not necessarily to kill, but to put in a little bit of work. For whatever the case may be, this has been an ongoing investigation, and it finally came to a close. They arrested 8 guys, and I'm sure they're going to arrest more, and they got several firearms, several clips, several rounds of ammunition. All this was taken, and along with these 8 guys into custody for what is alleged to have been a hit on a Southsider in San Jose from VST, which is Barrio Sur 13 or Barrio Sur Town, however you want to say it. Now, that's pretty crazy for guys to travel all the way from the city of Greenfield, which is in Santa Clara County. In Monterey County, and to drive all the way up to the city of San Jose to look for rival gang members. Now, there was a press conference that happened, and the mayor as well as the sheriff addressed the public and let the public know that they're not going to stand for out-of-town gang members committing violent acts or coming in to commit violent acts in their city. You know, the crackdowns have been real. These operations continue to happen. If you do a murder, you're not going to get away with it. Nowadays, there's so many video cameras, there's so many ring cameras, there's so many people telling, there's so much going on that it's very hard to get away on a murder investigation or with a murder period, because someone's going to see something or say something. In the era of pull your phone out first, we're in the pull your phone out era first. And people are going to do that continuously and constantly. What's going to happen is something gets seen. You might think, oh man, this is the perfect thing. And someone's taking a picture and they got you in the background blowing a dude's face off. It just is the way it is. Now, as far as the North and South issues, this is not new, especially in Monterey County, Santa Clara County. You know, it seems like it's heating up in the city of San Jose, though. We're hearing a lot of North and South issues come up, which we haven't heard about lately. You know, it's been years since we heard about so many North and South incidences. We heard about the one on Valentine's Day where the youngster was stabbed because he was wearing the color red. We heard about the issue where there was a Southsider who was jumped at San Jose Blue Jeans, a local store there that, the youngsters go to get their gang attire and their clothing or whatever. And he was jumped along with his mother who was trying to defend him. There's been so many of these cases that are going on, and there's a lot of different incidences that happen, within the mall, different areas on the east side, west side, that don't even get light shed on them. They don't even come to light because they're so normal. The North and South thing is really popping in the city of San Jose. I got homeboys out there who say it's heating up, man. For a while there, it seemed like everybody was trying to be rappers. Everybody was focusing on themselves and making money and dope and all that. They weren't even really focusing on the gangbanging, but it's like getting back to that now. For whatever reason, I don't know what's in the water. I don't know why, but it seems like the world is getting more and more violent. And not only in the city of San Jose, but throughout Northern and Southern California, you're just hearing a lot more things are going on, and there's a lot more operations, a lot more indictments, a lot more federal indictments. It seems like the world is going crazy. It's not cool to be a gang member anymore. It's not safe. It never has been, but it's becoming even more so unsafe. Not necessarily on getting killed out there in the trenches in the streets, because that's what you sign up for, but more so on getting apprehended, locked up before you could even do some door, or even being in association with people who are doing it. You get caught up in the same situation. So anyways, they executed these warrants all throughout the city of Greenfield, which is a smaller city. It's not even a city. It's a town located right outside of Salinas. It's known for its farming, its agricultural areas. A lot of paisas are in Greenfield because they work the fields, the lettuce. They go down to Gilroy, work the garlic. I mean, there's just a lot of different Mexican families that are in Greenfield. But the Norteño movement has been there for years. I mean, Grifas is one of the older neighborhoods in Greenfield in Northern California, period. It's very well known and respected. So to see the next generation moving the way they are, I'm not surprised. I'm surprised with the fact that these guys had much guns and ammunition and things that they did. But it's like normal nowadays. See, back in our days in our neighborhood, we were lucky to have a couple 25s, a 38, maybe a 380 throwaway. A Tech 9 was like a big deal back in the 90s. If you had an AK, you were really balling out. Nowadays, ARs, Ghosts, Glocks, Uzis, all these things are like normal. You got youngsters rolling around with ARs in their pants with Punch's Pilot haircuts. It's crazy. I seen a motherfucker pull 380 out of his fucking whip, his decaying whip. It's nowadays, they got bigger guns than people. See, back in our days, it was all about being swole, all tatted down, and have a little fucking peach with her, right? Nowadays, the bigger the gun, the dude looks like he's all dyslexic, all skinny and shit, with the big old AR, can barely lift it. But that's what it is. You're only good in the hood if your gun is bigger than you. Straight up. Me, I just never had it like that. I just had a knife and was like, fuck it. I don't even know why they call me Gunner, because I never had a gun, right? Straight up. But at the end of the day, there was warrants executed all over the city of Greenfield, the town of Greenfield, and 8 guys were apprehended on a murder that took place in San Jose. Now, again, according to the mayor in the press conference, they're not going to stand for guys, especially guys that come from out of town, to cause violence and chaos in the San Jose city streets. And that goes for anywhere. When you go out of town and you commit a crime, you're thinking, I understand the ways of thinking. I lived that lifestyle for a long time. Man, if we go do it over there, they'll never trace it back to over here. Nowadays, you ain't getting away with shit. They followed you right to your fucking doorstep. You were eating cornflakes and you got cornflaked. That's just how that is. It might take them time, but imagine living in this era nowadays, committing crime. It's only a matter of time. You might go a month, even a year, and you're like, oh man, shit. And then it's going to pop up. One of your homies is going to get busted, or he's going to pillow talk and tell his chick, or they got you on a Ring camera, or someone photographed you, or some fucking, you were drunk and you were talking in your sleep, no mames, right? And they got you, and they're going to get you. So this operation that went down, it's another one in the books. And San Jose is not playing. Like I said, if you do crime in any other city, they're going to make an example out of you. These 8 guys, I don't know who's going to fold, who's going to start telling on who. It is what it is. Usually that's what happens. That's why, they arrest as many people as they can, so they start folding on each other. But this is a pretty big deal in the city of Greenfield. There's a lot of families that are mourning. There's a lot of families that are crying because their loved ones are going to be locked up more than likely forever. They're all charged with murder one. We'll see how it all works out. These guys, are alleged to have went hunting, Southsider hunting. And it was crazy, man. I remember one time I had a homeboy and he pulled up and he's like, hey, bro, let's go look for the opposition. I said, for what? Why? They were in the hood or what? Because just because they are who they are. And I was always like this. I was a straight up gangster. This was my mentality, a hardliner, but a straight up gangster. I put in work when work needs to get put in. You come fuck with us, we're going to fuck with you. You're in our area, you got that one coming. You pose a threat, you're going to get threatened. But I was never the kind, I'm just going to go start and agitate and start problems just because that was a bad look on our hood, and that was a misrepresentation of what the type of people we were. We were there for the lucha. We were there for our people. We were there for to hold it down for our gente, to uplift our people. We were not there at any time to go show off, to go throw rocks or shoot at someone that was had their back turned towards us, or to go do a sneak attack. Now, I understand in some of the gang mentalities, it's like, oh, we're putting in work. That's putting in work. But it all has to stem from somewhere. There has to be an initial conversation or initial disrespect to start the back and forth, right? But I never wanted to be part of that initial conflict. Like, hey, man, let's go shoot them just because, or let's go do that. I didn't see the reasoning in that. If I ran into someone and there was pleito or they disrespected, then let it be the reason. If it was on site for whatever reason, then I could understand running into a motherfucker. But I never went looking for trouble. I never went looking. Hey, see, I was a firm believer for a long time that you don't have to look for it. When you're in that lifestyle, it's going to find you. It's going to find you, and karma's going to find you even quicker. So there was always going to be some drama, but I didn't need to go look for it. Now, these guys in Grifas, it's alleged. And again, everything is alleged because it's an ongoing investigation that they actually went looking for the trouble, that they actually went all the way to San Jose to put in some work. Now, I've been hearing about youngsters lately that feel that that's what they do. They get pumped up. And I used to be around my homeboys. We used to get all pumped up. Hey, fool, you won't do that. You won't do it. Now, you're not a shooter like that. You ain't like this. And then they'd get pumped. The next thing you know, you heard, hey, did you hear what happened with the homie last night? They got locked up and shit. Now, what happened, fool? I was too busy boning my old lady, right? What? No, I didn't say it like that. You know what I meant? Anyways, why? What happened? Where were you last night? I was at my pad. Yeah? And that makes two of us, right? So anyways, the conversation is like, now we're beating around the bush because we both got secrets, right? What's happening, bro? Anyways, yeah, back to the conversation. Yeah, so did you hear about the homie got locked up last night? Like, yeah, I heard. Yeah, did you? Yeah, I heard. I also heard some other things about him, but I can't speak on it. Speak on it. You said it now, fool, right? This is how the conversation went. Cold part was the homie got locked up because he got pumped up, and now he went and did a shooting or something. He's gone forever. And guess what? Now we're both at his old lady. It's nuts the way it is and the way it works out. But I say that to say this. It seems like a lot of these youngsters nowadays are actually going hunting. There's been a lot of things. I noticed in Northern California, it happens a lot. I'm sure it does in Southern California as well. I just haven't heard about it too much. But putting these groups together and hunting people and all that, it never works out well. Like, people don't look at the crimes that happen before them. They only look at what's happening right in front of them. But hey, if I'm going to go do a murder, right? I'm not saying I'm ever going to do it. Law enforcement, nope, not me. Not 4-0. I beat the boots down with the 2x4. I don't do none of that. So, but if I ever was to commit a crime, I'm going to look at previous crimes that are associated with what I'm thinking about doing and how they got caught up. And it seems like every time someone's going to do a hunting or someone's going to look for the opposition or going to different neighborhoods that they don't know about, like, they're always getting caught. I'm cool. I'm gonna go ahead and pass. I'm gonna pass on this one. So anyways, moral of the story is another operation goes down, this time in Greenfield, California, which is located in the Salad Bowl, the Salinas area, Monterey County. And these guys did not get locked up in Monterey County because the alleged crime, the murder that they allegedly committed, was in Santa Clara County. So that means that's where they're being housed. That's where they were extradited to, from Greenfield to Santa Clara County directly, not via their county jail, but via Santa Clara County Jail. They got extracted and sent there. And let me tell you, Santa Clara County is no joke. They got a 97% conviction rate. Ask Cain Velasquez. He'll tell you he just got convicted up out of there. And that's where the big boys play. The same thing with Monterey County, though. Monterey County is Norteño stronghold, right? So there's a lot of functioning-ass Norteños there that function hard and come from regiments and are really well laced up and have status. Same thing goes for Sanjo. It's a bigger area. They're going to be from a different city. So automatically, man, they're going to be embraced as Nortenos if that's what they continue to claim when they go in there. But you're going to understand a lot of things are going to shake their little group up. There's going to be dudes that are going to understand they're facing life and they're not going to want to go through all that. So it's going to be a tricky situation. Anyways, yeah, the operation went down. They recovered several guns, as you can see in the thumbnail, several clips of ammunition. These guys were ready for war. These guys were ready to go out there and really put it down. You know, I'm a firm believer in gang violence and all that should cease. We are better as a people if we come together, but I understand. It's familiar to me. I understand what they've done, why they do it, and what they're going through. And now it's a situation where there's no takebacks. Someone is dead. Someone, I can't say if they were innocent or not, but, you know, these guys came all the way from a different city and targeted whoever. You know, it wasn't like this was planned, like, oh, we got to hit a specific dude because this dude disrespected my mom or disrespected my family or disrespected me online, although that does happen from time to time where specific targets are hit, right? This dude was somebody who just would happen to be in an area that is frequented or known to be a barrio where Southsiders are. And, you know, that goes for the people that are tripped, that are in Saul, that say, oh, there's no Southsiders. They're not out here like that. Well, that dude was, and he's dead because of it. You know, and it goes both ways. Don't act like I'm top heavy with the Northerners supporting that shit. No, man, no death is justified, period. You know, there's other ways to handle your aggression. Get out and catch that fade. Give that man his due process. Give him his one-on-ones. If you think you're better than that dude, then show him you're better. You don't have to kill him. That's how I always was with the homeboys. Oh, man, we're going to fuck these fools up. We're going to shoot them when they're not looking. What? What part of gangster is that? Why not pull up on them, jump out and say, what's up, homie? Let's get the 3-on-3 right now. Fuck it, make it the 4-on-4 because we're from up north. Why not that, right? Instead of, hey, we're going to wait till this dude's back is turned and then shoot him and then keep it pushing. I never thought that was gangster. I never agreed with it, but I understood the life I signed up for. That was part of it. Anyways, 8 guys apprehended in Greenfield for a murder case in San Jose. You know, tap in, do your research on it. This is only the beginning. They say that there's more arrests coming. This was in conjunction with the San Jose Police Department, the Gang Task Force, Sacramento Sheriff's Department. They had Salinas Police Department. They had people all the way from San Francisco all the way to Fresno. They had people involved in this investigation. This was a pretty thorough and extensive investigation. This goes to show you the feds, the cops, the gang task, they're doing their job at all points, at all times. You know, meanwhile, you got in Southern California, the 60s and associates getting caught up in Operation Drawdown. You got dudes in Northern California getting caught up in Operation Greenfield. It's happening all the time, and it's going to continue to happen. The best way to stay out of the mix is stay out of the mix. I'm just saying, I'm not here to poison the people. I'm just here to say what comes of this. You got a dead gang member in San Jose. You got 8 members from a Northern California gang in Greenfield that might as well be dead because their life is over. They're not going to see daylight for a very, very long time unless they tell on someone, and then their life is over anyways. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to strive, struggle, and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people, man. My condolences to the guy who lost his life in San Jose. I know his family's going through it, and I know all the young Northerners' families are going through it too because now their kid's locked up. His life, he just threw it away. Unfortunate, the gun.